Hey everybody, it's Erin Reed and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a couple of cards. They're Valentine's Day cards with the same technique that I am teaching at Creativation, and I am actually flying out today. The video of the day goes live. So this is a class I'll be teaching while I'm there. It's a little bit different on the colors because I didn't do a Valentine's Day theme there. And I also picked out one different stencil from the Crafters Workshop. So what I'm using here right now is the Rinea faux paper. This is the Love Variety Pack, and I pulled out the blush and the ruby in the glossy. So on one side we have the color, on the other side we have gold, but we're just dealing with the color today. The first step you're going to do is you're going to take the ghost ink, and as a heads up, all the supplies I'm using are going to be down below in the information section. There are affiliate links, which means that if you click on it and if you buy something, or sometimes even if you just click on it, I earn a little bit of money at no cost to you. It's only if you purchase or you click. That's it. So I am just dabbing my ghost ink. So far, so hard, right? And you could do this with any of the colors except silver, because the foiled paper is basically, to get the color, it's a tin foil. And they have added a color on top of that to give it that beautiful vibe. At this point, I'm just going to kind of shake them a tiny, tiny bit. And you can hear that there's a foil, like there's a metal in there. Because it's like a sandwich of metal. It's so cool. Give them a second to kind of dry and do their thing. And then the last step is just take a little bit of paper towel. I'm just going to test a corner to see if it's dry yet. And this one is there. So you just want to give it a couple seconds to fully dry. And then you just buff it out. And what it's doing, as you can see, it's pulling off the color. It's not going to be as obvious for this pink one. And this is just one of the layers we are doing to this sheet. So I'm just buffing it off. I'm pulling off the color. And, whoops, it's okay, it tore. We're going to be making this all grungy anyway. So just wiping it off, getting it clean, making it look all kinds of cool and distressed. It's very fun. This is one of the fun techniques I love doing with this paper. Look at that. It's going to look even more obvious with the ruby because it's more of a stark difference in colors between the silver and the ruby. And because I just put a light coat on here, it is coming off, it's going to get, if the more you buff it, the more it's going to come down and get down to silver. So there you can see the silver starting to come out. And I really love that distressed look. It's so cool. So just keep kind of buffing it out, getting it off, making it look cool, getting the color, that cool distressed vibe. So much fun. And there we go. Ta-da! See how cool it is? And so it has the same effect on both sheets, but depending on the color, depends on how obvious it is. All right, the next step is we are going to take our stencil. So this is one of the Crafters Workshop stencils, and again, the links are going to be down below for you to find it. And I'm taking the Crafters Workshop black modeling paste. So for this, I'm just going to take a little bit of my black paste, and I am going to run it over the stencil. And I don't need to be super careful. It's okay if it kind of bleeds. It's okay if it gets mottled. It's very grungy. It's kind of the whole vibe of this card. And the project that I made in the class is actually a box. These were the pages that went on the sides of the box. And at the end, I will show you a picture of the entire box. So as you can see, I just slapped that on. Really, really simple. Pull this off, but we're not quite done yet. It's the design on there is just very, very light, because we really want to see just more of the black, but we're going to kind of pull some of that black off here in a minute. You're going to see. It's a really cool step. Add some more of the modeling paste. I didn't even clean my stencil between each run. I love the thickness of it. It really is a good paste. It reminds me of like Nutella when it goes on. It's got a great thick quality, but it's super malleable, meaning that I can easily manipulate it and get it in. And I'm using a little bit something different here. This is what's called a palette brush. Not a palette brush, sorry, a silicone brush. It's a silicone tip, and I love it because it really just glides over beautifully. I'm going to take a paper towel and just off to the side of my desk, I'm going to lay this down so it doesn't get all gunky, because I can't wait too long before I do this next step. So there that is. I'm going to lay these two pieces together. And then the next step is I'm going to come in with printer paper, plain old printer paper. And basically, we're going to create a little bit of a mono print. I'm going to come in and rub it right over top. This is also a fast way to kind of speed up the drying process of the stencil. And then just kind of grab the corner as you're lifting up. And I put a really thick coat on the first one. Yeah, it's super thick, but you can kind of see the mono print that comes off of that, right? Set that off to the side. I'm just going to literally put this on the ground and let it dry. As you can see, my stencil's gotten a little smeared. It's gotten a little, you're not really seeing much of it anymore. So we're going to do this again. We're going to come in, we're going to mono print it again. So really come in, press, and this would work for any stencil. Here we go. So now we just needed another one. It's pulled off. You can still see a little bit of the design happening. At this point, you just got to let it dry. So while it's drying, I'm going to clean up my stencil, clean up my palette brush, and look how cool this mono print is. I will probably use this one over the other one, and look at how it pulled on here. So not only am I creating this background, but now I'm also creating this background on the printer paper, which you could use cardstock. There's nothing wrong with that. I just like the flexibility of the printer paper. And we're not done. We're going to add another layer to this here in a minute, along with a layer here. And then next week's card is using this technique. I actually saved the pieces that I used when I made my box for the class to make the cards that are in next week's video, which are the cards I taught in my class at Creativation. So you guys are learning some of the techniques, and it's like an inside sneak peek of what one of the Creativation classes, part of the Creativation class that I taught this year. So all right, drying time and cleaning time. All right, so these have dried whopping maybe 5 minutes. I mean, and they are dry. And also, my paper is dry. And I haven't done anything beyond just letting it sit. It's gone to clean up. And what I've pulled out now is the platinum modeling paste. And I am using this grid stencil. I like to use more of an open stencil, meaning there's more space here. And then for this second layer, I like to use a stencil where there's hardly anything showing. There's quite a few stencils in the line where you can get that point across. So again, pull out some of the modeling paste and stick it down. I'm going to do the same thing for both sides. Now we're adding a layer of this kind of silver, which is going to kind of mimic a little bit of the silver that's in the background when we first did that first layer with the ghost ink. It's going to have this kind of the same vibe, but it's platinum, it's not silver. So it's just going to be kind of another fun layer going on here. So really get a good coat of that. And look at that, you can really see that pop. I'm going to do the same thing for this side and then repeat the same thing about taking the paper. I'm just going to do one layer, put them together, and then do the mono printing and then clean everything up again and let that final section dry. But I'm going to speed that process all up. Let them dry, and oh my gosh, look how amazing this looks. For the monoprint side, the side that we placed, which is just copy paper, I went ahead and cut it down to size, and as you can tell, this is the direction of the cards we're going. You already saw that in the front thumbnail, but you get kind of the idea now. I would have normally made this one bigger, but to cut it down so it was even and it fit nicely on the card, I had to add a few extra mats, otherwise it would have been really, really small, and I didn't like the smallness of it on the card. So, and I wanted to bring in the Rinea foiled paper again. So for this one, I used the Fuchsia and Starstruck, and for the card that we're going to make together, I'm using the Ruby. So we have two different versions of the Ruby happening on the card. Okay, so what do you do next? All I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sheet and I'm going to place down the die. Really simple. And to make sure it doesn't shift around, I want it a little bit off-centered. This is not my design. I actually saw this on Jennifer McGuire's. She made a version of this a while ago. And I just thought it was really cool because it was a very easy way to show off the background. Whatever kind of background you're doing, a card like this where it's just a simple design, a simple stamp, a little cutout, and letting that background, that all that work that you did is not getting covered up. And that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. So it's a very clean and simple design, letting the background shine. So all I need to do now is die cut this, and then I'm going to do the same thing for this page as well, or this background sheet right here. That's all done, you have all these little half hearts. I don't know if I want to try and keep them. I mean, you could definitely layer them on top if you wanted to cut one out that was full, and you wouldn't know that one of them is missing a whole side. But I have 4 little halves, and I don't know. We'll see. Next is layering. We're just going to do a series of layers. The first card, the layer is super simple, which is our foiled paper that we distressed and did all kinds of fun stuff. Just add your adhesive tape runner straight to the back. Make your life easy. And then just center it onto your card, letting the white background of the card be the focal point. And I like the look on white because this is so dark looking. There's so much happening. The white just kind of simplifies it and cleans it up a little bit. I think if you went for a black background or even a craft background, it wouldn't quite have that same effect. All right, for the next card, there's my next background, go ahead and place down the first layer, which is the foil. You're just seeing a tiny, tiny hint of the foil. So it's just a little kind of a, oh, yes, there's a color there. So that way it's all not black and white. I had to add a layer of white because this is what we're going to end up stamping on. This is the little peekaboo part that we're going to be seeing, because I could stamp on the red. Again, it's just going back to, I like that clean look. I like that pop of the white in there. And I'm making sure I get my tape runner into the corners here because it's cut away. And if I didn't get right into here, it would kind of pop up and get caught on things. So just treat it like it's a normal sheet of paper, just adding a little extra adhesive right here, and it lays nice and flat. All right, so next I'm going to pull out my stamp positioner. I have not stamped this card yet. You could totally leave it plain, but I do like the look of the stamp. I picked one that still fit within the theme of love. I would have loved, haha, no pun intended, just a love or love you, but I didn't have that. So the closest I found that fit in the space, I did have a love, but it was tiny, and I didn't like the smaller heart. It was the wrong perspective. The smaller heart looked like it was too small. It didn't quite fit. And so I found this Your Lovely stamp. This actually is a Catherine Pooler Stamp of the Month Club that I got and I picked up at Creativation last year. And so I still have it. It still works great. And so basically I'm just going to lay the entire card down and make sure, see, it's not lined up just right. I probably moved my stamp a little, like where my die is. I think I shifted this one up a tiny bit. Yeah, you can tell. So if you look at the card itself, I didn't cut the heart exactly in the same spot every time. Even from this card to this card, I shifted up, which is absolutely fine. If you want to make sure that your die is cutting identical repeatedly, then maybe die cut them all together or measure it up or something. But I wasn't worried about that. I just eyeballed that part. All right, stupid thing on my part. So I was making the cards after, and this is actually 2 different days I'm filming, and so I filmed part of it yesterday, and then the light was getting bad, the kids from home from school, and literally it started getting, you probably heard some of them in the background, so I just waited until the next day, which is today. But I finished the prototype last night and got the pieces cut and all that, because I can do that, you know, with just lights on, but it doesn't film very well. And I woke up this morning, and apparently I am so close to Creativation, and I've got about a list that is long as my arm left to do. I left my ink sitting out like this all night. Yay. So guess what doesn't work anymore? And this is a brand new ink. I think I got this like 4 weeks ago. Oh well. I tried. It's a lovely stamp. I mean, it's a lovely ink. It works great. I also have my black premium dye ink from, this is actually the scrapbook.com ink. They used to call it Umbrella Inks, and then they renamed it because it's made by scrapbook.com. And I think people were getting confused and thinking, is it another brand when it's their brand? And I really want this to be a very crisp, super, you know, dark stamp. So I did it twice. That's why I pulled out my Misty. I really want it because it's the only stamped image on here. I wanted it to be like in your face. So that's as hard as it gets with the cards. So if I was really careful, I would have made sure I die cut them all so I could place the stamp once and then just die cut a bajillion times from there. But I didn't think ahead. I'm going to call it Creativation Fog. That's the best way to describe it. I'm going to need to do 3 iterations on this one. Keep missing that LY. There, that's good. So, but I mean, just look, they're so cool. I'm really loving this design. Thank you, Jennifer, for an awesome design. So simple, so cool, so easy, and it really does let your background shine. And what if you didn't want to do it? See, it's just a little bit misaligned again. What if you didn't want to do hearts? You could totally do a circle. I don't know if that's going to turn out right. Okay, it didn't smear too bad. I didn't clean off the stamp. You could do a circle, you could do a star, you could just do, I don't know if a square, it needs to be, because it's already so linear, it needs to be something that has some sort of a rounded shape. An oval might work, but a circle definitely would work for this concept. I like the heart that's just kind of cutting off. So it's just kind of like just off the side. I don't know, it works. It called to me. And there is absolutely nothing wrong when you see somebody's design online. That's why I make the videos for you guys too, is to inspire you. And the biggest compliment you could give to somebody, as long as you recognize that it came from them, is to copy them. In my mind, you know, it's saying like, I got that idea from so-and-so. So I'm totally cool if you guys ever want to copy me and to make any of the cards or projects that I make, because that to me is like the biggest compliment. I mean, I love that you guys watch, and I love that you guys subscribe and you hit the bell button and you leave comments and all that. But for you to actually go out and do the next step and create the projects, that's, you know, like, wow, that's so cool. I just think it's amazing. And that you liked it enough to want to make it yourself. That's just awesome. So that's what I think of the Jennifer McGuire design of the cards. The background technique, that's all me. I invented that. Woohoo! Because not that many people know of foil, and then doing all the different layers that I did on the foil with the ghost ink and the whole thing. I've not seen anybody else do that. So I'm going to claim that technique as mine, which is the technique I am teaching in my class this year at Creativation 2019. That is the background technique, along with taking the mono print of that and using it on a complimentary card. In the class, we did this box, and you can see the complimentary card here. And next week on our Wednesday video, which is the day I'm flying home, Creativation is over, is the video release of how I did the card in my Creativation class, also using the Crafters Workshops and the background, because I'm not showing you how to do that background piece in that card video. So thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget, I have a ton of videos. I am actually flying out today, even though I recorded this before I left. I am flying out pretty much as we speak, or I'll be driving to the airport, one of the two, when this launches. So I hope you can come by and check out all the amazing videos that I'm going to be getting, live footage from the showroom floor. I already have some amazing companies lined up to do videos. I contacted them ahead of time and got them organized. So I hope you can step in and watch some of those live videos. I will be there having all kinds of fun with Crafters Workshop, Rinea, you name it. Anyway, please subscribe. I will see you guys again later, and thanks for stopping by my Card Making Wednesday, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.